Hello and welcome to Stretford, Paddock. This is the Uncensored podcast. No Adam McCullough this week, but instead of getting him down the line, we've got a very special guest.
Yes.
Wearing his brand new t-shirt. Still got the crease in the sleeve. It's Joe McGrath.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm very well.
You mentioned the new top. This is actually quite fashionable at the minute. It's a new sport called Paddle.
Paddle.
All the footballers playing it, so I thought myself as a bit of a footballer, I'll get into it. It's a mixture of tennis.
When you say as a bit of a footballer, which bit of a footballer are you?
It's a great question. My mindset.
Yeah.
My mindset.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of tennis and squash, and it was invented in Mexico in the 60s.
Stop putting things between the gaps of all the sports. So we already had the mixture of a dinner table and tennis. That was table tennis. We've already had the mixture of Wally and tennis, which was squash. We don't need to keep filling the gaps with new sports. We've already had a mixture of handball and tennis, volleyball.
Rugby was essentially some guys who weren't good at football picking it up and running with it.
Yeah, running home with it. But we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff today. But I want to talk about United's top four chances. Because it's this conversation that keeps, almost like Ten Hag said it himself, top four is almost like a trophy at this point.
Yeah.
People talk, especially non-footballers, us lot basically, talk about top four as though it goes in the cabinet at the end of the season. Look at that top four trophy we've got. When really, especially if you look at United's Champions League form over the last 10 years, the top four is worth nothing. I know it's not really, it's worth revenue, it's worth everything, but actually it's not like, how many teams have got any chance of winning the Champions League? About 6 on any given year. Weirdly, Chelsea can, even though no one knows why. Liverpool can. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City. And that's kind of it.
Because you don't look over in Italy or Germany even. Sometimes they fall short.
Maybe a push a Juve or an Inter.
But that's not happened for ages.
Like there's 7 or 8. Like in the last 15 years, how many sides that aren't any of those have won it? It's Inter Milan. That's it. So I'm not saying that there's no point in being in the Champions League, but do you think it's this sort of all or nothing type thing? Would you rather finish top 4 or win the FA Cup? It's some actual silverware that goes into the cabinet is talked about for years to come.
The reason I see it as a must this season is because I really thought under Ten Hag that the last year was a great foundation point for us to build on.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I do think the evidence is showing now that the injuries of certain players have left us on the back foot, because now we're seeing when he does have a full strength squad, he can get results and he can make a push for the top 4. So I only saw it as an importance because I was thinking, right, it shows that we're still on the right track for Ten Hag to be the manager to keep us pushing up and up the league. If we fall out the top 4, there are many other factors behind it. I understand that, but one of them has to be down to the manager and the players. And I'd be a little bit disappointed. I look at the top 4 now and I go, right, there's some good teams up there.
Who's definitely making top 4?
There's
City?
three.
You think City, Liverpool, and Arsenal are
100%
set?
So then it's a battle for the 4th spot, isn't it?
And currently who have you got?
Villa, Spurs, United,
and then
Newcastle might go on a bit of a run, but
Brighton are there or thereabouts. But really,
them 3 are. Yeah. Currently, we're at the bottom of that race, 8 points behind Villa. I was saying to you now, we got 15 games left.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned if we get there we have to win at least minimum 12.
Do you think?
100%.
Yeah.
Because let's not. You mentioned that Villa and Spurs, they might drop off form. Great, but we need to make sure we continue a good form.
Yeah.
Because that is still a chunky 8 points at the top.
Yeah. And the problem is we need them both to drop off.
Yeah. That's just one.
It's not just one. If we were 5th, you could be like, right, keep an eye on Villa, and that pressure's building. The one thing I hope is because we're a little bit further back.
Yeah.
Most weeks, at least 2 of those 5 or 6 teams above us are playing each other every week.
Yeah.
2 of them are playing against. We saw Liverpool, Chelsea. No, Chelsea behind us now, but still a tricky game in theory. Then we saw Liverpool versus Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think this weekend as well. There's City, Everton, Arsenal, West Ham. Not easy games. Big games. But, West Ham are basically on the same points as us. Obviously, Arsenal going for the title as well. So every week they're knocking points off each other. So we've got to. I think. I was trying to work it out before. You said 12 wins. I don't know if we need quite as many as that. I think 10 wins from the last 15 would get us top 4.
Do you know what? I might say something stupid here. Do you think? I honestly feel like, and it's hard to say it, that City will regardless win the Premier League this year. I just think they're not even out of third gear yet. They looked great last night against Brentford. I don't think on our day we're we're far behind Liverpool or Arsenal, you know.
Really?
I really think on our day, we could probably beat Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because we've shown, I mean, it was a bit of hard fortune when we went to Arsenal away. And we drew to Liverpool 0-0 when we had a really awful shit team. So I look at the quality and think, right, if we get 4th spot this year, if Sir Jim Ratcliffe can have a summer with United, with the new sporting directors coming, the new CEO, wow, next year could be great. So I look at that 4th spot and I think of it as a real must, because it also will help bring in players that see the future of United and maybe not want to play Europa League. Villa on the weekend's huge, innit?
Yeah, it is massive. It is.
It's huge.
Because the difference between 5 points and 11 points, I mean, other than it being 6 points, which is just the maths, is a mountain to climb, though, innit? I think if we go 11 points off Villa, I don't see that being surmounted, if that's even a word. Whereas 5 points, you go, that's 2 bad weekends for Villa and we're above them. Like, it's such a massive difference. To be honest, would you take a draw? Because I think I would be borderline up for a draw. Keep it at 8 points. Away at Villa Park, I think they've only lost there once all season.
Yeah.
They were something like 11 or 13 wins in a row there at one point, weren't they? I think a draw wouldn't be the worst result in the world there.
I don't think so. But you'd look at the mentality for the players and the staff, and hopefully they're going in that game with an attitude of saying, we've got to win. Let's go over there. And our away form, we talk about it a lot. It's been poor, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But what a way to turn it around at Villa Park, making sure we get the 3 points. Yeah. You got superstars that we will cheer about all season, Højlund and Mainu and Garnacho. If they turn up the heat a little bit, get the win, unbelievable. The away form, forget about it. We start again, clean slate. We've just beaten them at Villa Park. Villa now crumble. Get lost. We fucking have it.
We're allowed to swear,
we're allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Fuck off, Villa.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think it's a big turning point this game of the weekend. We're having it, mate.
Yeah.
What else are you allowed to do on Uncensored?
All sorts. Well, we want to keep talking about this first.
Nudity?
No. Well, go on then if you want to. Go on.
A bit later on.
Yeah. Last season, the top 4 after the 23rd game was the same one that ended the top 4, or ended the season in the top 4. So it was United, Newcastle, Arsenal, City. This year, obviously, 23 games gone. We aren't in it. I know you said we're going to need to do this. Villa's a big game. Do you think we'll get top 4? I don't think you think we will.
What do you think we will?
Well, I'm not asking me.
I'm just taking your question and putting it back. Do you realistically think? Obviously, there's factors where we have to hope other teams fall.
I think that.
But when I say something like, we've got to win 12 games out of the last, we've got to win over 10. Yeah. Surely you got to see that and go, he's right.
I do think we're going. Like I said, I think 9 or 10 would probably do it. Because if you think Villa, what's that minimum? Obviously, I'm not saying win 10, lose 5. Yeah. But if we win 10, lose 3, draw 2, what have you dropped there? 9, add 4. Yeah. You've dropped 13 points, which means that Villa need to drop 21 points between now and the end of the season. So do Tottenham slightly less. I don't think that's impossible. I think we'd be scraping it. I think they'd have to sort of bottle it a little bit. But we saw, when was it? 2 or 3 seasons ago, when it was us and Chelsea trying to catch Leicester, who were in the top 4 at that point. Yeah. And all 3 of us just kept losing and losing and losing. And like by the end of it, I think we pipped in on the last day. But something like, there was a stretch where for about 6 weeks, at least one of us drew or lost every single week. So probably 9 or 10 games I think we'll have to win.
Are we definitely
Maybe
certain
10.
that Liverpool and Arsenal are going to be in the top 4? Yeah, we're definitely certain on that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It'd be bad for Klopp, wouldn't it, his last year?
That'd be fucking
6.
It'd be absolutely brilliant, that.
Imagine that. But he's not got anything to worry about next year, has he? He doesn't need to worry about Champions League.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Walking about coffee shops in Germany.
Is he?
Chilling out. That's what I'd be doing. Yeah, I think that's what he's going to be doing. This top 5 thing that keeps getting talked about as well, with the Champions League coefficient. You know about this, don't you?
Yeah, I do know about it. So essentially, an extra spot is going to come available, but there's caveats.
Yeah, so an extra spot is going to be given to the 2 highest ranking countries in Europe in terms of their UEFA coefficient. Will be given an extra spot for the next person down the list in terms of the league
coefficient
position.
Stuff. What does that actually mean?
So basically,
being green.
It's no.
Is it not?
It's not the green coefficient.
Right.
Like it's some sort of G6.
If you recycle.
No, it's not about recycling. Although Citigroup is recycling players left, right, and centre at the minute, aren't they? Signing their own players. It's about how well your country performed in Europe. And I think it's weighted so that how well you do in the Champions League matters the most, then Europa League, then Europa Conference. So if it was based on last season, where we saw City obviously win it.
Yeah. West Ham did the one underneath,
West Ham
didn't
won the Europa Conference.
Europa League. What was Europa League final? Oh, Sevilla.
Yeah, Sevilla won, didn't they?
Yeah, because obviously they won.
But
did they beat an English team in the final?
Well, they beat United in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, they did actually.
But so based on last season, England would have been in it. And I think 7 of the last 8 years or something ridiculous, 5 of the last 6 years, if we'd have had this same concept, the 5th place team in England would have won it. But the fact that Newcastle finished 4th in their Champions League group and are now out, United finished 4th in their Champions League group and are now out, it basically means that Arsenal and City need to get to like the semi-finals or something.
Shit.
Or more. So you're sort of hoping...
So we weirdly have to cheer on...
Well, not cheer on, but hope they get to the semi-finals and lose, or the final and lose, for United to maybe be able to get Champions League football from that 5th place spot, which is obviously just a horrible position to be in.
On that side note, I've stopped playing fantasy football now because last night when Brentford went up 1-0, I've got some City players in my team and I wanted City to score and I was like, this isn't for me anymore.
That's disgusting.
I've deleted my team.
Good.
I hate that. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah.
I've just deleted it. And everyone's like, oh, you forfeit, I'm at the bottom. I've got to do 5 minutes stand-up at the Frog and Bucket.
Is that your forfeit?
Which is a comedy club. Yeah, I'm not asked. I'll start writing now. See you in May.
You've done it before, haven't you?
Yeah, I did it when I was 16.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I did it when I was young. Yeah, but they don't know about that. That's a secret. Oh. That was on the Sloppy Joe's Patreon.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, cheers for telling everyone.
Oh, sorry about that.
But yeah, so I'm out. And that's the same thing of we're going to be cheering on Arsenal and City if we're in 5th, hoping that we get the extra spot.
I know. I hate stuff like that. I hate having to be like...
They work in mysterious ways, don't they?
Oh,
that's upsetting.
This show is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leaders in below-the-belt grooming and grooming of all kinds. And with us, you can get 20% off and free shipping using our code Paddock20 at checkout. And here's the thing. Manscaped, you might be thinking, we're the global leaders, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to do anything. We're done. We can rest on our laurels. Well, they're not resting on their laurels. And instead, they have brought the greatest package known to man. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra with 2 switchable blades. You've got your normal sort of blade for your general, sort of taking off those top layers. And then you've got the foil blade for getting smooth as you like, wherever you like. And the thing is, I've been using Manscaped for, it's got to be 4 or 5 years now. Since I started using Manscaped, not once have I ever considered using anything else. And that is the genuine truth. Before that, I had this old one, and I don't want to say where it's from, but it rhymes with moots. Okay? It rhymes with moots. Bought it on the high street, and honestly, I took off as much skin as I did hair. This thing would chew through my ball bag like me going through chicken wings, or Joe McGrath going through chicken wings on a Friday night. Disgusting. With Manscaped, I don't have to worry about that. They've got their skin-safe technology. And with the Performance Package, this is everything you need in one. It's not just the lawnmower. You've also got the ear and nose hair trimmer as well. You've also got the Crop Soother Toner. You've got the Weed Whacker 2.0, like I said, the ear and nose hair trimmer. And there's the liquid formulations. You've got the Crop Soother. You've got the Crop Preserver. And all of that comes in their Shed Travel Bag 2.0 to put it all together, take it with you on holiday, come off the team bus with it, like you play for Manchester United. All of those great things. Thanking to Manscaped, of course. Again, it's 20% off and free shipping using the code Paddock20 at checkout. The link is in the description. Click it, go and check it out. Your balls will thank you. I thought it was going to
really is upsetting. That.
It really is upsetting. It got so close. Just looking at the other teams, and so Villa and Tottenham are the main ones we're trying to catch.
Yeah.
Then you've also got West Ham, obviously, who United beat the other day. They were
battered
weird.
them.
They were weirdly not very good, weren't they, West Ham?
Do you know what? Sometimes it reminded me of. There were certain times where Jose Mourinho used to play United and
play against us.
Play against us, and we used to just beat him. But it felt like he like not allowed it, but it just felt like it was inevitable.
Yeah.
Like West Ham, Moyes coming to Old Trafford, it felt inevitable. Like I never felt in any real danger, and even the result, like I always think as a football fan, a standard 3-0 win at home is like, obviously 6 or 7-0 win is amazing, but it feels just like perfect.
Yeah.
Do you know, like,
that's
I love
the
my food.
ideal sort of.
It's like a double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
perfect, isn't it?
Well, maybe a triple cheeseburger in this case.
Perfect. I mean, you can go Big Mac and that's your 4-5-0.
Yeah.
But the 3-0 win at home is wow.
That is your double cheeseburger, isn't it?
Yeah, and I always knew it would happen. So I know West Ham have been weird and Moyes is what it is, but I thought, we got it. So West Ham, I'm not worried about them. Villa, very good this year.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be having such a roller coaster ride like we've been having, where we can go in a couple of games winning run and then we get our arse handed to us. But Villa seem to just be maintaining a very good level of football.
Much smoother, isn't it?
Smoother.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's smooth.
Yeah.
Spurs are Spurs.
Yeah.
I think they might bottle it.
Do you?
Well, it just one of them.
You're not a fan of Big Ange?
Big Ange he's a nice guy, isn't he? But he got a lot of love. I think it went to his head.
Do you?
Yeah, big time.
He's not used to that before, is he?
No, I mean, previous management up in Scotland where he did obviously incredibly well.
Within reason, though, innit?
We do all right up there, won't we? Me and you, we do all right.
Me and you as manager and assistant. So you can be the manager, and I'll be the sort of like, do you like Slugworth on Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
So people think I've got like a sort of wide-rimmed hat on. Oh, I did it in the corner. I've got a wide-rimmed hat on, and I've sort of got some glasses and a trench coat, and I'm a bit mysterious, and everyone thinks, have we fallen out?
No,
or is it?
we're best friends.
Really, but no one knows that. And I'm off scouting other players talking about weaknesses in our squad. And in the end, it's all just for research and recon to find out who's got injuries. And
then we win.
Oh, I would come and play for you, sir, but I've got a bad knee. Right, get his knee next time we play him.
Then we win 10 Scottish leagues on the bounce.
Yeah, finally they do it, the 10 in a row.
The 10 in a row. It's never been done. It's crazy that no one's ever done 10 in a row in Scotland. Lots of 9 in a row, but no one's ever done the 10 in a row.
In all honesty, right now, you go to Celtic. They say, we'll give you a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
2
years, great, thank you.
First year, what's it look like? What does the SPL look like with you there?
Straight away, I'm looking down the list of results and going, where's this? I'm going, right, how far away is this? Because some of them are far, you know. You've been in Scotland?
Yeah.
Surprisingly big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually.
So I'm thinking about the travel time.
It does go on for ages, actually. You get there and then it's like another 5 hours to the top.
Oh, my God.
Even though it seems like it's just like a little cap on the top of Great Britain.
Yeah.
It's more like a sort of Abraham Lincoln 10-gallon hat, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, or Marge's hair.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, you think probably just a crew cut this, when actually it's the full Marge.
It's the full shebang.
Yeah.
So I'm going, right, what players are doing well in other teams that aren't in Rangers? Right, buy them, quick, you know.
Buy
so basically, buy all the good ones. Get them all around and go, listen, boys, all the best here for the season.
So all the players that have played for teams that haven't been able to beat Celtic, we get all their players?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but no. But I'll be keeping the core of the Celtic team. Okay. These are just add-ons. So I'll get them in, like lardons. I get them all in, make sure they're all happy, and I go, listen, realistically, if we beat Rangers, we're happy. So that's what I'd do, play 4-4-2.
That's it. Well, you can't just say
me. I don't.
realistic.
I've just been put on the spot about how to win the league.
How do you beat Rangers?
It's hard.
Then? It's the Old Firm derby, the first one of the 25 that are going to be played this.
No, that's miles away.
It's the first one of the 25 Old Firm derbies that are happening this year, because there's fucking tons of them every year.
Yeah.
What are you saying in that dressing room? You know that basically, if you win, I think it's 4 times they play each other a season.
Yeah. If you win most
of these, you'll probably win the league, because with the Old Firm, you know, comes the title, as they say.
Yeah.
What are you saying to motivate those boys?
Now, am I home or away?
You're at home.
Okay. Right.
Celtic Park. 70,000 in there.
Huge pressure in it.
Oof, and the rest.
Guys, gather around. First of all, thank you for turning up on time. It's nice. You got a award politeness, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'd say I'd probably sacrifice a man.
To death?
No. As in, like, you go out and just fucking lever someone.
And get a red?
Yeah, get a red.
So you're down to 10 men?
No, we can win in 10 men. I've played out in my head.
Right.
Maybe he just gets a really strict yellow.
Right.
Oh, no, miles off. And then hopefully we win on penalties. On
penalties in the league? Have you ever watched football before? Yeah, obviously every game in the SPL goes to penalties.
Is it not? I thought it was like I thought there could be no draws in the SPL.
No, there's plenty of draws.
Oh. But yeah, anyway, what would you fucking do? That was a hard question.
I'd do the same thing, but I'd win in regular time.
I
No, what I'd do is I'd try, because you always see it on films, but no one's ever tried it. That thing where you go like 8 players in a circle around the ball, all huddling round, shielding the ball, but no one can get in. Then you just move that up the net, up the pitch into the opposition net. Try that.
That's quite good, that actually. Yeah.
If that works, because I think you're allowed to shield the ball as long as you're within playing distance of it. So if the circle's tight enough, no single person is obstructing. But as a group, you are obstructing. So I wonder if the ref would blow up there.
What's the deal with using birds to help the game?
Birds for what?
I'm talking like, imagine, because I know a couple of guys got some hawks, big boys. Celtic Park, it's 0-0, dying moments of the game.
Yeah.
You're on the ball.
On the wing.
On the wing. No, what's that? Is that a bird? Fucking falcon comes down, quick picks the ball up like that
on the back of his neck.
Yeah,
like
picks the ball like that, flies it into the box. Doesn't score.
No,
but
gets an assist.
We've practiced this,
right?
So then you got a man on the back post. The hawk goes like that. It goes, boom. What can the ref do?
This is very much the Griffins flying Frodo to Mount Doom, or flying them out of Mount Doom, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like coming in, saving him last minute in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And then flying him out again.
So would the referee blow the whistle?
So what you're saying is very, very, very highly trained birds of prey to carry the ball.
They are highly trained, birds of prey.
Yeah.
Highly trained.
But it's going to be a bit suspicious when your centre forward goes out with a falconer's glove on, isn't it? And a little fanny pack full of dead baby chicks.
Oh.
They just go a whistle that no one can hear. So he gets a whistle out of his pocket, and then all of a sudden, dozens of birds come sweeping into the stadium, and they've won again. And all the birds have got half and half scarves on, so you don't know who's employed them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Tiny little half and half scarf and those leather goggles.
Oh, I love that.
I'm well up for that, actually. That's a good idea.
Well, I'm going to see how hard is it to train falcons?
But I wanted to say
Hawks.
falcons is what I
I'll never know if I'm saying falcons right.
Falcon. Millennium Falcons.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that named after the bird?
Well, what else is it named after?
I didn't know there was birds in Star Wars.
Well, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? You never see a pigeon kicking them out, do you? Next to Yoda. In those busy marketplaces. Do you know what I mean?
Because in real life, those busy marketplaces, it's full of birds.
Oh yeah, but they're all after a little bit of something, aren't they?
Yeah,
Seagulls coming down like that.
Yeah,
can you imagine Obi-Wan having a little scran?
Yeah, someone nicking a little Jedi.
So the fact you think the Millennium Falcon's named after a falcon, you got to think this.
No, I don't.
Is the Millennium Falcon... Is the Falcon named after the Millennium Falcon?
Fuck off! Well, you're suggesting that the bird of prey, the falcon, wasn't named until 1978. Is that what you're trying to say? Until that we went, fast bird! Whoa! And why does it make this noise?
It's one to ponder on, isn't it?
It really is one to ponder on.
Probably someone could Google that, but
it's better to think and just to say, I think. I think Googling's ruined conversation, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Do you remember the years when you just go into a pub or go into a youth club or whatever when we were kids, go into school,
and
people, you just make stuff up. Or you'd say stuff based on a hunch as though it was a fact. And the town bullshitter would there's always a couple of blokes in the pub who just talking rubbish.
Yeah.
But easily provable rubbish. But now, they're gone. You can't prove them wrong.
It's upsetting, isn't it? Because the art of a good bullshit, maybe your bullshit now has to be more private. So it isn't like you did something when no one else was around. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I used to remember people would say something like, "Oh, Arteta's that is Pep's cousin, you know that, and that's why basically he's going to get him to second place, and then he lets City win, and it's like a rule that they have." And they're like, "Oh, he's Arteta's Pep's cousin." That's not unbelievable. The most Spanish, they know shit like that.
Yeah,
people just make and if now you Google it and you don't know at all.
Well,
or the old one as well of as a chat up line saying you were in I played for Stockport under 21s.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that one when you were younger?
Did I ever do that one? What do you mean? I paid for Stockport under 21s.
You were a dinner lady for Stockport under 21s.
Yeah. Believe that. No one needs to Google that. I once got caught out when I said my chat line when I was growing up. I got all the ladies, as you can imagine, was that I have the biggest tree in Stockport. Did I ever tell you this? I said I got the biggest tree in Stockport.
What do you mean?
It's fucking big, by the way.
In your garden? In
my garden, yeah. Not like a fucking... It wasn't a euphemism. She says to the girls, I've got the biggest tree in Stockport.
Yeah.
Biggest, huge, unbelievable. And do you know what? A couple of mates was like... They knew I was lying, but they went, it's passable.
Yeah.
But someone went and Googled, we're on a night out, big tree, Stockport, nowhere to be seen. I said we got a certificate. No, what's to be seen? Big tree, Stockport. Not a single shot of my house.
Did you ever? Not a single shot. An aerial shot of you, in the garden like that.
I said they do it every. I said it's like the World Cup. They measure every 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
You had a little background and everything. Did it ever work in terms of helping you attract a mate?
No, I don't think it did. And if it ever did, by the time we get home, you couldn't see it.
Because it's dark.
So dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shine a light on it. No lights. It's very light sensitive because it's a type of spruce.
Yeah, it's gone now, that tree. My mum and dad had to get it.
So what? So it was real?
The tree was real, but it was big, but it never got the award of biggest tree in Stockport, which I did really push for.
Yeah.
Say we're in all the papers, like I said, they do it every 4 years, they do a big measure.
Well, that's not true though, is it?
No, that's not true. This is all false.
So what is true?
The tree was huge.
Right.
But do you know what? I seen a couple in a park once where I thought that could probably contest it one-on-one, but but now it's gone because it's a safety hazard.
So it
got too big.
Are you literally trying to do the chat line on me right now?
No, you come see
you've got to the point where you're saying, how can I come see it? It's been knocked down.
Well, yeah, my dad, do you know how much getting a tree cut down is cost?
No.
Mate, if you're ever listening now thinking about what job to go into, tree surgery.
Really?
Thousands.
Scalpel.
Thousands.
A big tree on a big table in a hospital like that.
Get a vein.
We're
losing him.
Washing your hands like that. Got the thing. One heartbeat every year. It's just the ring.
Is that true?
What? The ring?
Is it a different year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how they age trees.
But thousands.
Speaking of taking you one-on-one, Mudryk's had a bit of a laugh this week, hasn't he?
So, Chelsea is still shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy how bad they are. What's going on there?
I can't believe how bad they are. I saw a stat today. In his first 23 league games, Potter and Pochettino have won. I think they've won the same amount, and Potter had one more point by this time last season. Obviously, Potter then got sacked, and Lampard came in.
I've also seen other bits of rumours speculating that they can't afford to sack him.
I saw that. Because it cost him 10 million to get rid.
And that just tips them over into the balance of financial fair play, and you may get repercussions on that. Probably only be a fine, but as a business point of view now, do you look at the fact that no one right now is going to get you to the end of the year, are they? Into a Champions League spot by the end of this season?
No, impossible.
Let him do it. Bit of a laugh.
Pot.
The year that time forgot.
Or
and
Lampard.
Then in the summer, fuck him off.
Get Lampard back.
Lampard is so bad. Do you know what? Do you not think there's kind of like a lack of like a really great new managers? Do you know what I mean? Like we are seeing an old way. I really thought Ten Hag was going to be part of it. I mean, Alonso's doing brilliantly, but do you know like if we sacked a manager now, who's leading the way?
But I do think though that
Potter.
a lot of them, when you think of like the last generation of new managers, I think other than Pep, they've all got a negative or two on their CV, haven't they?
Yeah.
And then what they do after that is they overcome that. Whereas before we saw like, Jose, I see slightly before Pep, wasn't he? He came through and was just like immediately straight up. All the way till he got to Real Madrid, it was basically up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
Pep did the same. Up.
Yeah, well, Pep's the outlier where he's had no negatives, except like...
What about Klopp? Did he go with Dortmund?
Klopp got relegated.
Oh.
Klopp got... I don't know if he was officially sacked, but he left Dortmund when they were in like 15th or 12th or something. So he won the league with him a couple of times, which is obviously great. But it didn't end massively well. So he had that little dip before he went. Tuchel, he had that weird time in PSG, but then went to Chelsea and won the Champions League. Then he gets sacked from Chelsea.
Yeah, but that was very
even
odd.
Zidane, who's got like no blemishes on his record at all, everyone's like, well,
he's not the best.
Is he? Yeah, how good is he? Because he's not like known for being this amazing tactician. And did he only win all that stuff because he had Ronaldo, Modric, Kroos, Benzema, Ramos, Marcelo, like all of these players, Varane, all of these incredible Casemiros? Did they win it for him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what was the pause there for?
Couldn't really think of any more players.
No, you listed a lot though.
Isco, Bale.
I think the rule of thumb, if you're listing players like that, as long as you hit 5, you're sound.
You think 5's the one?
Yeah. If you only give me 3, I'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But when you got to the 5th, I was happy.
Yeah, because if I say to you, that Man United 2018, what a team. You got like Rooney, Carrick.
And if you stop then,
Neville.
Like, oh.
You got Rooney, you know. Like that, you would think you don't know what you're on about. But if you hit 5, like, Rooney, Carrick, Neville, Ronaldo, Tevez as well. I mean, I called it, etc. Yeah, I think you're right. 5 is the number where you go from looking like you're guessing to like you're an expert, but I'm just going to save you the time.
Thank you.
Of me thinking of it. So Chelsea have been shocking, and maybe the single greatest kind of symbol of that struggle on the pitch, at least. I think off the pitch it would be Todd Burley, wouldn't it? But on the pitch is Mudryk. Yeah. Because he's a player whose name sounds like a Pokemon.
Mudryk, got to catch them all.
Yeah. Because there is actually one called Mudkip. I googled it.
Mudkip?
Yep.
Wow.
He was this sort of like part of this new generation of spending 80 million quid on a player that's literally played about 25 career matches. Yeah. Barely played any football in his life, you know, professionally.
Crazy.
In the grand scheme of things, and he cost him, I think, 80 million or 75 million quid. He's not got any better since he arrived.
No.
I think he's got 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals maybe, and can't even get a game most weeks. And now Chelsea have got a weird thing where they've spent like 650 million quid in the last 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and they look worse than they've ever looked. And then you've got Mudryk online offering people out. I don't know if he's offering a fight or a 1v. So basically,
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me try and get this up and I'll read it out. But
what I'm interested in is the 1v1 offer.
Yeah.
So I thought he was offering a fan out 1v1 in sort of like a fight. But the more you read into it, you go, actually, no, I've read it wrong. He's offering it one-on-one as a game of football.
Yeah, so here
what is that? What could you do?
So this is what the message is. So someone messages him, and in fairness, this is typed by them. Yeah. They say, what the fuck is going on with you? Did you forget how to play football? It's not good enough. Something needs to change. Maybe do some one-to-one sessions every time we play. Every time you play, we have 1 player less. Now, first of all, if you send that sort of message to a professional footballer, you are a dickhead. Like, regardless of who...
it could be worse. Like, it's a bit constructive there, isn't it? You know,
it's not,
why don't you try some 1v1 training? You know, he's offering him advice.
It's not hugely constructive. Every time you play, we have 1 player less. It's not hugely.
Yeah, but he's not calling him all the name under the sun.
What the fuck is going on with you? Did you forget how to play football? I think it's pretty.
I don't know. In terms of the messages I've seen, awful earners, I think that's a 6 out of 10.
I would rather receive a "you're shit, you're fucking shit, you're useless" than this like, "it's not good enough. Did you forget how to play football? Maybe do some one-to-one sessions." Like this sort of semi-constructive, but still hugely offensive.
Yeah.
Then he replies. Mudryk replies, which first of all, there's your first mistake.
Don't.
If you're a professional footballer, rise above. Do not have it. I wouldn't even have my Instagram on my phone if I was a professional footballer. Let the mods deal with that. Come play one-on-one for £10,000.
Is that all he said? Come play one-on-one.
Come play one-on-one for
£10,000.
Yeah. Then the reply is, bro, at this point, I will personally give you money every time you score with the sort of prayer hands. We're all Chelsea fans here. So at this point, bitch boy's backing down. That's what I'm going to say. Because I'm calling this guy out. I think he's a dickhead. But he's backing down now. We're all Chelsea fans here. And I deal with the players and sort their stuff out. But come on, man. You have Everton next. And then Mudryk replies, you good at football? And then he just replies, score for us, please. He's really, really backing down there, isn't he? He's gone... Yeah. What do you make of what Mudryk said, and what do you make of that guy going from this sort of what is wrong with you? Did you forget how to play football to we're all just Chelsea fans, aren't we, mate?
I don't know. Like I feel like the person responding has looked a gift horse in the mouth there, because regardless of you get a response, 10k to play football. Like if he wins, I mean, there's sort of a slight chance if he wins, but if he does, wow. Who knows?
What even is one-on-one in football? I mean, right. I know like in basketball, it's quite a well-established thing, isn't it? You give them the ball and it's 1v1 and whoever scores gets the ball. Like all that stuff, we've seen that before. You see it in films and stuff. What 1v1 in football?
Right, let's run through some scenarios. The first one is that you've got like 2 mini nets. And you basically have a game for half an hour. Yeah. Maybe on a smaller 5-a-side pitch. Yeah. Whoever gets the most goals after half an hour wins. That's scenario 1.
I can get that. I've heard. I can understand that as a concept in my head. Yeah.
Scenario 2 is like a Wembley style scenario where you've got a keeper in goal and he just fucks the ball up, and then it's like, right, whoever can score.
So it's one goal.
Win. I don't know, mate. First to 5.
No, I mean like there is.
Yeah, there's one goal with one professional keeper in it.
Yeah.
First to 5, maybe.
Yeah.
Then there's other games like heads and volleys, Wally.
Yeah, Wally.
Kirby.
Kick-ups.
We used to play this game at McGrath's, right, which could be great. It was more like inspired by Wayne Rooney's Street Striker.
Oh, what a show.
We used to put the green bin by the like sort of front door, never the back door. And we used to put the lid up.
That was her motto at
Shut up.
Domino's.
Shut up. Domino's?
We should go down the Domino's and that.
And we used to see if we could get the ball in the green bin from the furthest away.
Yeah.
And the dream would be not just for it to land in the bin,
God, I know what you're going to say.
but for the lid to close
shut the lid on the way.
over it.
Oh, God.
So there's another...
That. Anything, the lid leaning back, and if you hit it on that angle, it goes in and the lid shuts, as if to close the chapter on the game.
We could just do a whole sort of... We could organise this, Mudryk and this guy.
Yeah.
And we could do a whole day of like sort of crazy, like, TIG, green bin game, like an Olympics, but for like
or you could
sports.
almost do like a kicking version of dodgeball.
Yes.
So you're in like maybe a tennis court, and you have to kick the balls at each other.
Yeah, bush diving.
That's not anything to do with football. That was another one of your nan's games.
No, it wasn't. Bush diving was...
was your granddad?
Yeah, we could incorporate football. Bush diving was simply, can you dive over a bush?
Yeah. How does that relate to football?
Well, if we're doing this for the competition, we could see if we could throw a ball up in the air and they've got to head it as they're bush diving.
Oh, that's nice.
Just to make sure they're good at heading.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get
I think you've got a great point here, though. Because if some footballer offers me 10 grand for a one-on-one...
Do it!
Although, here's the question. I'm assuming it's a little double or quit scenario. Or like it's, if I win, he gives me 10 grand.
Yeah.
If I lose, nothing happens. If he wants me to give him 10 grand, there's no way I'm taking that bet. Would you do it? Let's say he said to you, if you win, you beat me one-on-one, you get 10 grand. If I beat you one-on-one, you give me 2 grand. So we're accounting for the
fact that I would do that.
You do it for 2 grand.
I'd do that. I'd do that because I might vlog it for the day. That'll that'll get some numbers on YouTube or something.
Film crew and that.
Film crew, not just myself. Like that. Hello, how are you? Like that. And then, or maybe sell the story to the Mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you might do something naughty.
You've sold a few stories to the Mirror before.
If it's in his house, you might do something like, go to the toilet but not flush. You know what I mean? Let him know you're there.
It's not the first time you've given a Mirror a few lines, is it?
Is that any cutting as well, or is that all right?
No, I can say it's uncensored. Oh,
yeah, it's uncensored, yeah.
It's
but
a joke.
You see the stuff he got cut before.
Hey.
Just start listening off, shall we? Yeah.
That'd be incredible, that though. Just in my head, watching you and Mudryk going one-on-one, him absolutely
bush diving,
skinning you. Absolutely skinning you.
I'm fucking... Oh, I'm all right.
You'd be so red
Do you know what
by
I am?
the time it was done.
I'm a very simple player.
Right.
Get the ball, get rid of it.
But just
I'm at the back.
But not in 1v1, you got to score against the keeper.
Shit.
They've got Petr Cech in goal.
Petr Cech?
Yeah.
And is it on ice?
No, it's not on ice.
That could be another one.
I did watch ice football earlier. Have you seen that?
No, it sounds deadly.
It's shite. Yeah. It's just like normal football, but everyone's slipping over all the time. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, what is the fun in that?
It's funny for about 20 seconds, then you go, I'd rather either watch ice hockey or football.
There's no tactics there.
No.
Where there is tactics in lots of other football.
Really well said.
Carry on.
I
was just going to go down a path where I was like, I was going to stop there.
Jim Ratcliffe wants to turn Old Trafford into the Wembley of the North.
Okay, right.
Now, you've heard of the Angel of the North.
Pints.
This is the Wembley of the North.
Yeah, how come the Newcastle lot got an angel? Like, who allowed them that?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when was that? Was there a meeting? Because there
must have been a meeting.
And you think, why have you got an angel up there?
I know.
Pretty shit as well, isn't it?
Have you seen it?
Just there like that.
I think it's quite good.
Is it?
I quite like it. Have you not seen it?
How tall is it?
I would guess about 60 feet tall.
How tall is that?
I don't know what measurement you want me to use other than length.
Double-decker buses often gets brought into it.
Probably 3 double-decker buses tall.
Christ.
Big, innit?
Not too big, though, is it?
Yeah, we'll get producer Ollie to double-check the height.
So the Wembley of the North would suggest that, we're getting a bigger stadium.
Yeah.
I read this as him not wanting to build a brand new one.
Yeah.
A redevelopment of Old Trafford.
But you were saying as well, the whole point of this was this idea of it being like partially government funded, levelling up funds.
Yeah,
you know a bit more about this.
Here in the UK, if you're watching outside, you got the government who obviously are quite London centric. A lot of the money that is spent is all in London. But when the Conservatives came in 2010, they created what was sort of like the Northern Powerhouse. And that was very much led by George Osborne, which was saying we're going to push more money into the North. It sort of happened, sort of did.
It was largely a lie.
It was largely a lie.
But they did say they were going to.
However, we are in what is called prime territory at the minute, especially like across the world. It is it's a year of... What am I going to say? What was the elections?
Yep.
So if ever there was a time to win votes, you would say, and this is what I've been speaking to, you've got a problem where you live, email your local MP at the minute, because they're going to be working overtime. So Levelling Up Fund was a sort of downgrade from the Northern Powerhouse, and it was to suggest that the government were going to pay different areas so they could become just as good as London. Okay? Yep. And it's happened in different spots. From now and again, like Wigan just gets 10 million quid. Do you know what I mean? What do we do with it? It's a Levelling Up Fund.
Just pie. The only way we know is pie. Yeah. Butter in a pie. Potato butter pie. That's a real pie.
I assume Sir Jim has got contacts in the government and we'll go, listen.
All that money we're going to
all that money, Wigan. Here we go. Sell them the dream. And they might, and you know what? It happens in other countries, doesn't it? Spain, Madrid get helped out a lot.
Well, in Italy, I know that, I think, because Jean-Claude Blanc, who's obviously part of Ineos now, was a big part of Juventus building their own stadium in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But that was the first time in the Serie A history that a football team had built their own stadium with private money.
Wow.
Up until then, they'd all been government owned.
Really?
So yeah, that's a big thing across most of Europe. It's a big thing in the UK as well.
Yeah, it's a big thing in the UK.
Because it's considered, imagine you're playing SimCity, it drives people to come to that area, doesn't it?
What it would bring up the question is, I mean, we all want it to happen. I think Old Trafford is it needs a facelift, doesn't it?
Massively.
And fingers crossed he can get it, because the government may help him out. He might put money in himself, and the government do that as well. It would bring up the question is what happens to, like, where do we play? Because I don't think it's an easy fix, Old Trafford. You would need to shut it down for a year or two,
I think so,
or build around it. So would we get half capacity for a bit? Or would we go and play at fucking Lee Sports Village?
You can't, though.
No, you can't.
I think... so I was thinking about this. Let's assume Old Trafford is out of commission. Maybe even just temporarily. So like, I think at the Bernabeu, they did this thing, didn't they, where they did as much of it as they could with them playing. And then for about 8 months, they had to just play.
Yeah.
They played at that second stadium, didn't they?
Well, Spurs had to go to Wembley, didn't they?
Spurs had to go to Wembley, for instance. Where are United going if Old Trafford is out of commission for 12 months, let's say?
Right.
So what are the options?
AJ Bell Stadium, which is in
Salford,
and that's tricky to get to.
It's very hard to get to. Is it Salford? Or
it's Salford.
Stretford?
It's sort of past Trafford Centre.
Yeah, Trafford.
So it's not too far.
It's not, but also
40,
it's not.
30 capacity. No, not even
it's less than that, I think.
Google AJ Bell Stadium capacity, please.
So that's one option. I think that might be the best option, even though standards-wise, it's quite old and not great itself. Is it?
Yeah, not great. So would you what else could you? What else could you do?
Obviously, the years of maybe in sort of war,
12,000.
So maybe in wartime you might have played at Etihad, but those days are gone now. The other options, this is also calls into question the fact that United don't have an academy stadium. Because if we had like a 10,000 seater academy stadium, which is I think what Real Madrid did, then you just sorted, aren't you?
But it's not what Lee Sports Village kind of is.
What's again?
Google
capacity
that.
Of Lee Sports Village,
please.
But other than that, you're calling in favours from your Boltons, your Stockports, your Wigans.
That would be
the camera.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. But that's not going to happen. And it's. I think AJ Bell might be the best option.
Well, 12,000 capacity.
12,000.
Sport Village is 12,000 as well.
Okay, well there we go then.
So imagine what the tickets in the who'd you let them get the tickets?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? Because how many season tickets are there? 40,000 season tickets.
Like
you go 1 in 4. You're going to get in.
But I suppose if you say, well, this is short-term pain, long-term gain, I think you'd be up for it. Whatever we have to do, and whatever season ticket holders and everyone United fans have to do to get. And the thing is, and it is worth mentioning this because I know that a lot of people say, well, you look at most United fans, 95% of United fans. Let's assume even there's 50 million United fans, let alone 500 million like they claim. Most of them, on a week-by-week basis, don't set foot in Old Trafford. most of which, I would say more than 50% of United fans, have never been to Old Trafford. So really, the idea of this slightly bigger stadium doesn't make a huge impact to most Manchester United fans. But it matters so much more than just getting another 10,000 in the stadium. And in terms of revenue, obviously, that's very helpful for the club. But the fact that we are just looked upon as a team that is covered in rust, covered in shit, falling behind the times, no facilities, no upgrades, Ronaldo's having a go because the tiles in the swimming pool haven't been changed in 20 years. All of these things add to this public persona, this image of United, that we are a shambles. And then you have Rashford going out, and that looks like shambles compared to Cole Palmer going out after a game, and barely anyone's mentioned it. And it's because United are an easy target. And having an old-fashioned stadium, old-fashioned training ground, women's team that used to be, I know they've now been upgraded, but training out of porta cabins. You have all of these things, these owners that are the only owners in the Premier League who are actually taking money out of the club they own. We're an easy target, and I think it makes it so much more difficult to perform on the pitch when you've got all these little things where you just go, United are just a bit shit. Yeah, they are. And if you had to pick a stadium, then probably in Greater Manchester, which one would you go for? For United, but take away AJ Bell Stadium and Leigh Sports Village. Like, would you Bolton big? He's big enough. Bolton, yeah. But that's a bit hard. Stockport's only 20,000, which I think technically would be the closest. Stockport won't be too bad. Oh, we were unlucky on that. Yeah. But there aren't really any options, are there? I mean, I think it would be Leigh Sports Village. It would have to be. Now, I didn't realise it was as big as 12,000. I thought it was slightly smaller than that. No, so yeah, that's good though. That works. That does work. Tricky. I'm thankful that I know we're pushing the Glazers to do this a lot for a long time to sort Old Trafford out. I'm sort of thankful Sir Jim's in charge of it because I feel like it would be a good job. I feel like if we let the Glazers in charge of it, fuck me, we're not being on Trafford in 2 years. That's a good point. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, Sir Jim, Glazers, do it half-assed, do it cheap, on the cheap. Not even have the idea of going to the government and speaking to them for money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think Sir Jim, if he does it, he'll do it fucking well. Yeah. He'll do it on time and he'll make it a good display. Well, these contacts and stuff, the fact that Jim Ratcliffe has been I know he's based out of Guernsey or one of the tax havens somewhere, I can't remember exactly where it is, but he's someone that's been based in the UK and is the UK's richest man or second richest man, depending on which, the year. That does have big implications in terms of like knowing the government, knowing the grants you can get, knowing how to use this, knowing if we do this, this and this, they'll give us this. Like local knowledge isn't irrelevant when it comes to business. It's massive. Not true. He's been one of the biggest names in business. Obviously, he's not hugely well known to me and you before he was set to take over United. But if you're in business circles in the UK, the richest man in Britain is very well known to you. Like he will, and the fact that he's got a knighthood as well, you don't get them without a little bit of flirting and elbow nudging at events. Like, come on, especially what knighthood for services to biochemicals. Fuck me. Like he knows a few people, and I do think that little things like that, it's not a big thing, but if it's 1%, and then you go, actually, we can get this stadium and only get 200 million worth of debt instead of 500 million. Makes a lot of difference. Does make a difference, yeah. Great. Because that will eat into no doubt that will eat into the budget of players and buying players. So the smart as he can be. Although I think technically they're sort of two separate funds. Two different things? But I don't understand that either because they said that like redevelopment of stadium and sort of investing in the club doesn't come out of the same pot as FFP. But then why couldn't Arsenal spend any money for years? Why are Tottenham spending less money because they're... Is that because they just didn't have the money? Well, maybe that's what it is. As in, like, there's one big pot there, but we've used all the resources here. Maybe. Whereas United kind of technically have different pots because our own... It's like being on Monzo. Are you on Monzo? You got different pots for different stuff. Yeah, you've got stadium pot. That's stadium pot. We've got nothing left in the stadium pot. We've spent it. We spent it all on dividends. Dividends. Thank you for coming on. Loved it. I've enjoyed that a lot. It was great fun. This has been Uncensored. Thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Use the code Paddock20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. Joe McGrath, where can people find you? Thank you as well. Sloppy Joe's podcast. If you enjoyed this, you can get plenty more of the same and more at Sloppy Joe's podcast. Well, not .com, but certainly .internet. Right. Yeah. See you in a bit. Bye.